Big 12 regular season and tournament champs.
And Houston, the Cougars are champions here in the Big 12.
Undefeated on the road.
The second Big 12 team ever to go undefeated on the road.
35 wins. National champion runner-ups. Over your 34 years of coaching, when you think about everything that you were able to accomplish this year, how does that stack up for you?
For me, every season is has its own journey. And a lot of times, the most successful seasons for me may not be my most rewarding season. I judge or base how I feel about each team on whether I got the most out of it. And all those are tremendous achievements, but the competitor in me says, I think our greatest achievement this year may not have been getting to the championship game. It's going 10-0 on the road. This is one of those teams that will go down, I think, in the history of this illustrious basketball program as one of the best years ever.
It's Hall, barreling towards the hoop, gets it to drop! UCF leads by 1!
Yeah, the thing I remember about this game was early morning game, and we had just come off a huge emotional game on Wednesday, and this was early Saturday morning. I put Terrence in a tough situation there, kept coming. I was more upset with him about letting the kid get to his left hand than I was missing the free throws. And I knew exactly the play we were gonna run, and we call it triple because we run our first guy off 3 screens. There you go. So now see how spaced they are, and then when you have LJ and Emmanuel on the floor, you're not going to help off those guys. Just Emmanuel in that corner, and LJ was up at the slot. And that allowed, on this side of the floor was critical. Now, had that ball been on that side of the floor, I may have run it differently. But this side of the floor, the key was it allowed J1 automatically to get to his left hand.
A lot of times in late game situations, we see coaches elect to go to a guard and let them work on the perimeter. I know it's 3 seconds left, but how much of a luxury is it that you have a post that you can trust to go get a bucket late when you need one?
And J1 was playing well at the end of this game. He had it going. And this is a stretch in the season where his confidence level was high. And even, he's talking noise there, but I like that.
So now you have less than 10 seconds to go. You call a timeout, trying to get out of UCF with a win. What does that huddle actually look like in those waning moments as you try to get a win?
I'd say real calm. We knew what we were going to do. My daughter Lauren showed me that when I started drawing the play up, Ryan Elvin was standing in the huddle and said, "It's a ball game here." So they had seen this play. They put the shot blocker on Juan. The problem was they let him get to his right shoulder. Once it got to his right shoulder, they couldn't get to his shot because Hall's not a shot blocker.
And Houston is going to win this game. The clutch bucket down the stretch.
16 seconds on the clock, 6-point game. No timeouts. How in the world did you guys pull this one out?
Let's face it, Kansas had more to do with losing this game than we did with winning it. Because Harris, who's I think one of my favorite players in the country, one of the best point guards in this league, had to, if he makes one of the 2 free throws, we lose. But he missed them both, so it gave us life. So now we're coming down. Stopping LJ there helped. Emmanuel moving helped, but that's the shot Emmanuel likes. I'm glad that ball was thrown to Emmanuel. But all this is purely instinct. This has nothing to do with coaching. I don't deserve any credit for any of this stuff that's happened. This is instinctive on our kids' part. Now, subbing Malik in for Milos or subbing JoJo in for Juan, there's a thought process behind that. The thing that made that play was JoJo. The kid taking the ball in bounds here, you can tell was uncomfortable. And then from there, it's just heart. And our kids have big hearts.
So when Malik rises up, what's going through your mind as he has a chance to tie the
Yeah, now we did say this. I think might have been the last thing I said to Huddle. If you get a steal, you've got to get a quick 3. And you can tell that Malik was listening, because that's the first thing he did.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
It's easy to be caught up in what happens in March or April, but for you, in moments like this, the journey that comes along with it, how special are these type of moments with your guys?
The celebration afterwards is all part of the journey they'll remember. I'm glad that people get that stuff on film. Luke, our video guy, has all that stuff. One day they'll look back at it and appreciate it more. Kansas is one of the iconic programs in the history of our sport. So regardless of what kind of team they have, winning in there is difficult. And we do this after every game. At that point in time, we were 8. Was that 8? Did that say 8-0 in the?
You can't read your own handwriting?
No, I can't remember it. Getting old, man.
Does Houston have the formula and the style to knock off Duke?
So looking back on your national semifinal game versus Duke, to me the thing that stood out, while everybody wants to talk about the ending, it was LJ Cryer and his ability to keep you guys in the fight, as you like to say. How impressive was he doing that throughout this game?
Yeah, well, first of all, Duke, up until this point in time, was the best team that we had played. I think all of our kids fully expected to win the game. I think I was more surprised when we had certain guys not play well early, and it was reflected in the score. But Duke had the best player in the country too, and ever how good people thought Cooper Flagg was, he was actually better than I thought. But LJ is our most mature guy. He was the leader of this team. It was J1's team in a lot of ways, but the guy that kept us afloat in these moments was LJ. Now LJ's size allowed him to, right there, Proctor was just a step late, which allowed LJ to get to his window. Sometimes I'd look at LJ and do this, look for your window and let it go. I had ultimate confidence in that young man.
Rebounded by Roberts. Reload, Cryer. He's got a 3. Currently defended by Malik Brown at 6'9", 222. Turnover and a foul to boot on Tugler.
There was a moment in the first half where I think JoJo turned the ball over or he committed a foul where you just called a timeout, and as they walked over, you just had your hands on your hips and you didn't really say much. Do you remember that moment and what was kind of going through your mind?
Yeah, I think in those moments I was, I don't remember which timeout it was, but I said, you guys do know you're better than you're playing. I said, we're gonna come all this way and we're gonna come out here and play like this, really, really.
You're working your way back, 5-point game, minute 15. JoJo commits this technical foul here, and we can see you in the background just drop down to your knees. What was going through your head at this moment as you're trying to mount this comeback, and then that happened?
That was momentarily. That was a moment in time. But as soon as I stood up, I looked at the clock and calculated it's still just a 2-possession game. And I couldn't get mad at JoJo. What am I going to do, take him out? He looked at me and said, Coach, I messed up bad, didn't I? I said, yeah, don't worry about it. Let's stay in the game. So let that go. Next play. JoJo went from making that play to making the biggest defensive play of the night. So don't focus on that play. That play was irrelevant. The play where he blocked Kneppel's shot off a shot fake was what gave us a chance to go down and get a 3, and all of a sudden it became a 1-possession game.
The jumper! He's got it! Wow. How about that?
Our game plan, we weren't going to stop Cooper Flagg. I mean, he's going to be the #1 player in the draft for a reason. Did he play well against us? Sure. But our ability to guard the rest of their team was key. I mean, that's clearly a foul. Now, our ability to switch, I didn't like that foul because we didn't need the foul there. But right now, we're coming back, and there's a little game pressure. I'm saying to myself right now, we need to bang a big shot here because we can get in our press. Look at JoJo. All right, that foul right there set everything up. So now he makes the 2 free throws, 5-point game. Now there's a dead ball. I don't know what JoJo's doing. He's lost his mind here. Now he gets back on the ball, and you could tell that that play there was. But I said, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's get the next play. It's a 2-possession game. go down there and not foul. I want you to watch what JoJo does here. Knepel's going to get the ball. Watch JoJo stay down on the shot fake. Stay down. Gotcha. Discipline.
How much have you ingrained that in him to set up a moment like that throughout this season?
All of them. Every time LJ, Emmanuel, Milos, Malik closed out on Proctor, stayed down on all his shot fakes. JoJo is a great defender. To me, he was the best defensive player, best defensive big I've ever coached. Jamal Shedd's probably the best defensive guard I've ever coached. But that offensive rebounding is discipline. That's staying true to your identity. Staying down on the shot flake is discipline. That's staying true to your identity. All these are things that are learned through multiple days of practice. The monotony of going over the same play over and over and over. But you don't get to this moment without that. Coach Shire and Duke's the same thing. They have great discipline. They have great talent. They're extremely well coached. They're big. They're tough. Somebody's got to lose this game, just like Florida. Somebody had to lose it. Somebody's going to win it. You know, right there, and look who got the rebound.
Malik.
There's some guys always. Then we got the ball. We're smart enough to get the ball to the right guy.
Dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars.
In a moment like that, what was the feeling for you personally to have a comeback victory in the manner that you guys did on that type of stage? I
was happy for our fans that were there. I was happy for our fans that weren't there. I was happy for our program. You know, guys like Jim Nance, Keem Olajuwon. There is no University of Houston basketball program without Elvin Hayes and Coach Lewis. And then Coach Lewis with Keem and Michael Young and Clyde, those guys. Don Chaney. Dwight Davis. I was happy for all of them because this keeps them relevant. You know, all of our success is unbelievable for our entire school. I had so many kids come up to me the other night at Celebration telling me they chose Houston. The reason they come to Houston School is because of our basketball program. The impact our program has on this university and our community is immeasurable. You know, you think about all the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of free publicity, PR, marketing, that we can use because of moments like this. You know, schools like Duke are used to it. We're not. So for us to have that moment is something that I'll never forget long after my days, because we built this thing not from the ashes. There was no ashes. It was just nothing. And to build it into a moment like this, of course I'm going to be emotional. And be able to win this the way we did, who we won in the moment, and the stage that we won on. Great for University of Houston, great for the Cougars. It was our moment to stand up and say, look where we are, and we can be one of the best. And tell the other teams at this school, tell the other students at this school that you're at a place where dreams can come true. You can dream big here and be whatever you choose to be. Don't be at a place where you're defined by your limitations. Be at a place where you're defined by your ambition. And we proved that more than anything else this year. You know, Houston is one of the best basketball programs in the country, and people recognize that year after year now.
When it comes to implementing new plays, where do you get your inspiration from?
Nowhere. Nobody. That's my job. I try to work as hard as I can every offseason to get better at something. But the NBA opened up Pandora's box for me in watching how they were prepared for every moment. I didn't even know what the acronym ATO stood for. My inspiration is I want my teams to be prepared. I guess that would be my inspiration. It's not from anybody in particular. Like, this is a great set play we just ran there. Now we got an ISO situation against a guard. It missed the shot. He said it's a bad shot. No, it's not. It's the shot we wanted. We call this zip ISO. That's a zipper screen into a ball. Now it's spoon. We got to switch.
You wanted to switch with Smith.
Yeah, we're looking for a matchup. We hunt matchups. that could have been called, but in that moment, there's the thing I liked about the referee there is he let the players decide the game instead of the whistle decide the game. But sometimes my best plays we just missed the shot, but we got the shot we wanted. You cannot put the ball in the basket for him. But like this play, this is what we wanted. We wanted to get Smith switched off onto Milos here, but they got Smith on LJ. They've got their best defender on Milos right now. So what we wanted to do is get the ball close enough to the sideline where we could set the screen. I told LJ, don't ghost it, set it so they'll switch. And then that's a shot that Milos can make most games. You say, everybody remembers the last one, but that was actually a well-executed play there. We got what we wanted, we just missed the shot.
It's out of bounds to Houston with 2.2 on the clock, and Kelvin Sampson will call his final timeout.
I haven't seen this play since that night.
So in this moment, you call timeout. As you mentioned, you have a back pocket full of plays. Why this one and why in this moment?
Well, in the scouting report that we went over, I noticed that the guy on the ball was Braden Smith, and he was kind of like a free safety. He was spying on LJ here. But he did that in the Big Ten. He did that in the conference. That wasn't the first time he'd done that. We had seen that a lot. So we thought, and the key would be to get everybody to fly out to J1. When I saw the kid that was guarding J1 go with J1 to the corner, I knew it would work. I'll explain to you the spacing and the mindset we have. So a basketball court, I always divide it into thirds. You have outer third, the middle third, and then the other outer third. If you can space the floor where you can open up the middle third, good things can happen. So sending LJ to that corner was going to draw Smith. Emmanuel, there's 3 seconds left. Emmanuel went to this sideline and drew that guy. The key was J1. As the game was progressing in real time, the first thing I looked at to see was, did J1's man go with him to the corner? Because if he did, that opened up the middle third.
So you're reading this during the game. You're reading how they're defending.
Yeah, I wanted to see how they were going to guard J1. And the last thing I told Milos is when you throw the ball in bounds, when you throw the ball to JoJo, you got to get 2 feet back in bounds as quick as you can. Don't stand there and loiter. Get back in bounds. Look at the middle third. Look at the middle third.
Wide open.
It's wide open. The design there worked because of LJ and Emmanuel. See, J1's going to the corner. They went with him. LJ went to that side. They went with him. Now there's nobody to guard the back door. The back door was wide open. And JoJo is a sneaky good passer. Now, he may have moments where but see the diagonal screen here? Now, Wren went with him. And see, 3 guys were at one point in time, 3 guys were running at LJ. Because we had run this play before, and Purdue knew it. So they wanted to take away LJ. But because Smith always left the ball and ran after their shooter, we think it would work. It could, but you don't know for sure. But everything just worked out. It was a great play call, but it was much better execution because these guys knew what to do. Every one of them. You can tell they had run this many times, and we've gotten that shot for LJ many times. And that's the first time all year that we got to the third option. But the only thing I had to make sure that I said was make sure Milos got both feet in bounds. See how quickly he stepped in? By stepping in quickly, because if he stayed out of bounds, he's an ineligible player, obviously. Here comes J1 to this corner, LJ to that corner, Emmanuel's to this sideline. Now we got the middle third open. And that was just great execution.
We talk about culture so much, but how much do you personally enjoy the X's and O's part of as I mentioned earlier, creating stuff and putting your players in the best position to succeed?
Well, it's such an important part of your job. When you think about the timeout schedule for a game, you have a dead ball timeout at 16, 12, 8, and 4 both halves. So it's 8 opportunities to run something. Then you have the end of the half where you can run something. But I think if you can be anywhere from 35 to 45% success rate on stuff, you're one of the best in the nation. They don't always work. Mm-hmm. And like I said, some of the best action we've run this year, we just missed the shot. It doesn't mean it was a bad play. It just means that we missed the shot. But on nights like this, when the other team has all the momentum, our ability to execute at a moment in time, and in that moment in time, where if we execute, we have a chance to keep our season alive. Because if games goes to overtime, I still think we could have won in overtime. But you never know. Purdue had the momentum. Milos was killing it, so was Smith. Mm-hmm. But our team didn't depend on one guy. And our ability to execute after timeouts all year was really good.
Well, first off, what is the name of this play?
51, mm-hmm. And I usually target or name our plays where they can visualize who's passing it, who's getting it. Mm-hmm. Like JoJo's the 5, Milos is the 1. So, and it's usually a low clock play, which was perfect for that situation. I didn't have to go get another one. We already had one. We just had to tweak it. I got this play from Scott Skiles. Scott Skiles was the head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks when I was an assistant there. So I'm always taking something from somebody. 51, and Scott Skiles ran this, and there was a kid that used to play at the University of Oregon named Luke Ridenour, mm-hmm. and he was awesome with this play. So shout out to Scott Skiles and Luke Ridenour. I'm not about to take credit for it, but we've adjusted it and tweaked it over the years to fit our personnel.
Mm-hmm. So at this point in the game, you have 3 seconds left, mm-hmm. 60-second timeout. I know you've practiced this before, but draw this one up for me as you look to go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, so the big thing was Smith was going to be on the ball. Mm-hmm. This was Milos. So we knew Smith was going to be on the ball. And now if you take the floor and you divide it into thirds, we had to get to the outer third here and get to the outer third here to open up the inside. So if I flip it over, and now J1 and Emmanuel, I stacked them mm-hmm. at the elbow. I put LJ here, and I put JoJo here. So everybody moves as one. Mm-hmm. It's not staggered. It's all, everybody moves as one heartbeat. As J1 is sprinting to the baseline to get to the corner, LJ, excuse me, let me go back and do that. This is Emmanuel, and this is LJ. Mm-hmm. Emmanuel is sprinting to this corner. As that's happening, JoJo is coming here to get LJ. So J1's down and out, Emmanuel's to the sideline, Joe's gonna come get L. L is sprinting to this corner. So now the floor should be spaced. Now, Steve Lapis and the CBS crew that was doing our Tennessee game actually saw us working on this the day before that game. So now Milos has the ball out of bounds. This is Milos. Juan is in the corner. This is Emmanuel in the slot. LJ is going to draw flies. Wherever he goes, they're going to go after him. Braden Smith kid went after LJ. So now when JoJo set this screen, he just peeled back to the ball. Mm-hmm. But he couldn't catch it too low, because if he did, the spacing would not be good for Milos. So the thing that we work on is set the screen good all the way to the elbow, which is the corner of the free throw line. So he gets all the way to the elbow. Now when he rolls, he's going to get it early. Now Smith chased LJ.
Yep.
So here's Milos. As soon as Milos throw it, he had to get both feet in bounds here. And then JoJo just made a great read. So for that moment in time, it helps to be prepared, but it helps to have kids that believe in what they're doing, which allows for those moments when nobody's watching us is the moments we prepare for when everybody's watching us.